Unleash your miraculous power. 7 divine steps to manifest an unshakable inner reality. In the heart of a quaint English village, nestled between golden fields and rolling hills, lived Mary, a devoted mother of 3, whose faith shone as brightly as the beacon at their beloved chapel. They often spoke of miracles there, of the extraordinary woven into the mundane. Mary believed wholeheartedly that a single prayer could change the world, transcending the ordinary with divine wonder. But as her youngest son, Thomas, faced a rare and baffling illness, her faith began to tremble under the weight of fear. Every day, Mary gathered her family around the warm glow of their cottage hearth, clutching hands in fervent prayer, her voice unwavering as she called upon St. Jude, the patron of lost causes. The walls resonated with their cries for healing, echoing through the village where hope flickered like candlelight. Villagers would pause, hearts softened by the sound, adding their supplications to hers. Spirits soared as testimonies of miraculous healing spread, igniting their collective faith, yet Mary battled with a new reality. Doctors were at a loss, and time slipped through her fingers like grains of sand. One dusky evening, as twilight draped the village in a cloak of serenity, she sensed something shift in the atmosphere. The air tingled with expectancy as whispers of a recent blessing filled the chapel. Old Mrs. Thompson had claimed a healing, clear as the dawn. This spark ignited fervent prayer meetings. Villagers flocked, their hearts united in desperation, each sharing tales of miraculous conversions that brought tears of hope and joy. Yet with each passing day, Thomas's condition deepened into a shadow. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let us continue. With desperation creeping into her heart, Mary succumbed to an experimental treatment. Her faith warred against cold reality, as she stood in that doctor's office, the sterile scent of antiseptic mixing with the whispers of dread. This path felt wrong, yet the flicker of promise pulled her in. The night air promised something, but complications surfaced like dark clouds overhead. At a prayer meeting that week, in the chapel infused with candlelight and faith, the villagers gathered more tightly, voices rising like a symphony. They prayed with such fervor that it seemed heaven's door might swing wide. Mary stood firm, wrestling with grief and resolute belief. Suddenly, a hush fell, a notable doctor emerged, and at that moment, something extraordinary happened. Thomas's laughter broke like a dawn through the clouds, radiant and surprising. An unexpected healing exploded forth as though heaven itself had descended into their midst. Stunned gasps filled the space where their prayers finally answered. The air zapped with divine energy, awakening hearts to an unbreakable connection to the miraculous. As joy and disbelief intertwined, Mary felt her heart leap. Questions swirled. Was this a bending of nature? How did faith intertwine with the unseen tapestry of life? Underneath, a deeper purpose beckoned, whispering clarity among the chaos, promising that this was merely the beginning of a journey full of profound revelations and unyielding hope. What more awaited them beyond the chapel doors? The stillness after the miracle cloaked the chapel like a holy haze, wrapping around each villager's heart as if urging them to revel in the wonders of faith. Mary stood frozen for a moment, absorbing the laughter of her son. It was sweet music to her ears, a song of victorious light against the backdrop of despair. As they left the chapel, the night sky twinkled with stars, each a reminder of the countless prayers ascended into heaven. Mary walked hand in hand with Thomas, her heart both light and heavy. She felt the warmth of hope flooding her, yet questions danced around her mind. This miracle, was it a fleeting glimpse of grace, or a promise of something more profound? The days that followed seemed painted in vibrant hues. Thomas appeared stronger, brighter, and filled with a delightful spark that even the village children noticed. Their laughter echoed through the streets, the familiar sound now infused with a lively spirit. Yet even amidst this joy, Mary wrestled with her thoughts. She couldn't shake the feeling that the journey was only just beginning. There were truths she had yet to uncover. One morning, she found herself drawn to the small garden behind her cottage. The blooms were vibrant, stretching upwards as if reaching for the sun. She knelt among the colorful petals, fragrant with earth and life, and closed her eyes. In quietness, she spoke to God. "Thank you for the miracle, but what more lies ahead for us? What do you wish me to understand?" In that serene moment, a gentle breeze swept through, rustling the leaves as if the earth herself responded. A thought intruded. Was her faith simply a means to an end? Did it only blossom in times of need? No, she understood now. Her faith was her very foundation, the soil nurturing every aspect of their lives, every joy and sorrow intertwined, and it called her to grow deeper. Returning inside, Mary gathered her family. "Let us share our testimonies," she urged. With eager hearts, they spoke one after another, recounting shifts, blessings, and unexpected miracles in their lives. As their voices intermixed, a beautiful tapestry unfolded before them, patterns of grace woven intricately into their daily lives. With each story, their collective faith surged, illuminating shadows cast by doubt. However, Mary felt the edge of uncertainty lingering. For every miracle, deeper reflections and spiritual dilemmas stirred within her. Would they keep their faith vibrant beyond moments of crisis? Was it enough to celebrate miracles, or was she called to be an agent of transformation in her community? The village, rich with the joy of healing, seemed to awaken. An idea began to take shape in her heart. They could reach out, foster spirituality beyond the four walls of the chapel. They could ignite faith in those feeling disconnected, those who viewed life through a veil of despair. As evening approached, Mary gathered her fellow villagers once again beneath the chapel's glowing arches. Their faces illuminated by candlelight, she spoke of possibilities: a community revival, outreach, prayer ministries, and a renewed dedication to serve those still longing for hope. The air filled with excitement and chatter as they envisioned a future painted with love and support. Yet, amid all this fervor, a lingering question danced in the space between them. Would they be bold enough to step into this divine calling? Would they discover the depths of faith awaiting them in this new journey? Tomorrow's dawn promised new revelations, beckoning them further into the realms of the extraordinary. And so, as they concluded in prayer, a sense of divine anticipation tinged the air. What awaited them next on this path of unwavering faith, as they turned to seek blessings beyond their own, with every heartbeat of the village echoing with hope? The true adventure was just beginning. Would their faith guide them to the place God had prepared for them all? Embracing their uncertainty, they dared to await the light breaking through the horizon. The dawn broke with a soft glow, spilling light across the village like a warm embrace. Mary awoke with a sense of expectancy, a feeling that today might unveil answers to her unasked questions. She prepared breakfast, the humble meal shimmering with a sense of divine purpose. Thomas, with his newfound enthusiasm, was already up and poring over the stories in his little book, his innocence radiating hope back at her. After breakfast, Mary felt an urge to gather her fellow villagers once more. Stepping outside, the fresh morning air filled her lungs, rejuvenating her spirit. She glanced at the horizon and saw the hills shimmer under the sun. The beauty reminded her that life was a sacred canvas, each new day painted with her choices and stirred by her faith. "Come, everyone. Let us meet by the old oak in the village square," she called, her voice buoyant with excitement. As villagers trickled in, she noticed their faces curiosity mixed with anticipation. The grand oak stood there, a silent witness to generations of love, laughter, and pain. Gathering beneath its boughs, Mary took a moment to pause, sensing the divine presence surrounding them. Today, let us talk about faith, how it shapes us and how we can shape our community with the grace we've received. One by one, villagers shared their thoughts. James spoke of the work he did in the fields, how he saw the hand of God in every seed sown and every harvest gathered. Sarah shared her struggles, how prayer had lifted her in dark times. Each voice added color to the morning, weaving threads of shared experience and awakened longing. As soon as silence settled, Mary felt an electric anticipation course through her. What if we could do more than just share our stories? What if we took steps to guide others in faith? Let us create a group that extends love and hope, and outreach that invites all who feel lost to find their way. Whispers rippled through the gathering. Eyes widened with the potential of their mission. Would they really form something new? Would they dare? Think of our brothers and sisters, those who might be feeling the sting of despair. We could reach out to them. Show them the light we have found. Her voice trembled slightly, not from fear but the weight of what they could accomplish together. A sense of commitment began to fill the air, each villager responding, "Yes. Let it be so." The aroma of faith binding them together, as sure as coffee permeated the morning light. Then came the moment, a realization that struck like a gentle rapture. Let us not wait until we feel ready. Sometimes, faith calls us to act in uncertainty. The eyes of those gathered sparkled with recognition, nourishing their determination to embrace their calling even in doubt. With new energy coursing through them, they knelt together, joining hands in unison. Words of prayer rose like an offering into the heavens. A gentle breeze stirred around them as if the very Spirit of God whispered, "See, I am here." Yet even in this collective moment of clarity, a question began to buzz beneath the surface. Would they truly step into this divine assignment? What if the path ahead held challenges they were yet unprepared for? As laughter filled the air, an unspoken resolve formed among them. It was a brave step forward into the unknown. Mary smiled, sensing that with every heartbeat of the community, God breathed life into their gathering. This was the beginning of something beautiful, and so they parted ways that day, hearts brimming with hope. But as Mary returned home, she couldn't shake the feeling that tests would soon arise. The horizon they aimed for seemed to shimmer with both promise and peril. What trials would come to challenge their faith and unity? Would their commitment withstand the storms that may lurk ahead? With her heart poised for more, she yearned to discover how God would manifest miracles among them together. And with every passing moment, her spirit echoed one profound question: were they truly ready to embrace the journey God was placing before them? The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows around the village as evening approached. Mary sat on her porch, the weight of anticipation heavy on her heart. She could still feel the warmth of the day's gathering, the hope that had swelled among her neighbors, now mingling with a tinge of worry. What awaited them on the journey they had committed to? Her thoughts turned to her son, Thomas, who was busy sketching in the dirt with a stick, seemingly lost in his own world. His innocence shielded him from the doubts that haunted adults. Mary couldn't help but smile at his carefree spirit. "What are you drawing, my sweet boy?" she asked, leaning closer. "I'm drawing our group gathering under the big oak," he exclaimed with a twinkle in his eye. It was like a treasure map. A map leading to love. Such a simple view, yet so profound. Mary felt a warmth fill her heart. Thomas reminded her that sometimes the truest maps were not drawn but felt in the soul. Suddenly, a small commotion erupted from the path leading to their home. "Mary, come quick." It was Sarah, her face flushed with urgency. Mary jumped to her feet, her heart racing. "What is it?" "There's news from the trading post. A traveler shared that a storm is brewing, and it might sweep through our village soon. We need to prepare." Fear clutched at Mary's throat, but she steadied herself. This was the first trial they had anticipated. Now it stood before them, tangible and real. "Thank you for telling me, Sarah. Let us gather everyone again. We can face this together." Mary called the villagers once more, but this time, the fear in their eyes was undeniable. Standing under the old oak, tension buzzed in the air. "Friends, we have heard the news. A storm is on the horizon," she announced, her voice steady yet soft. "But we are not alone. We have each other and the grace of God." A murmur echoed through the crowd, a mix of worry and determination. It was James who stepped forward, gripping his shovel tightly. "We've weathered storms before, haven't we? Each time, we've emerged stronger. This storm will be no different if we unite in faith." The villagers nodded, some voicing their agreement. They recalled how they had stood together before, how love had seen them through their darkest moments. "I can gather supplies," one woman said. "I will help fortify homes," another chimed in. Mary felt the energy massaging the fear away, a burgeoning surge of collective strength. "Let's remember, this storm isn't just a test of our resources, it's a call to deepen our unity. Together, we can protect not only our homes but also our hearts. As the planning took shape, she felt God's presence throughout the gathering, reminding them of the divine assurance within their community. They moved like a well-oiled machine, laughter breaking through the tension as they assigned roles, and somehow, amidst the chaos, an indescribable peace settled over them. In the flurry of activity, Mary found herself praying silently. Lord, grant us wisdom and resilience. Let us embrace this trial as an opportunity to grow. But then, her heart fluttered with a nagging concern. What if the storm was more than just a physical one? What if it threatened the very bond they were weaving? What if doubts began to creep in, undermining their unity? The whispers of uncertainty floated through her mind, but she pushed them aside. Every pulse of her spirit urged her to trust in the love they had cultivated. Perhaps, just perhaps, this storm was exactly the catalyst their community needed. As the sun began to sink below the hills, the villagers worked tirelessly, hearts aligned. Mary felt a growing sense of awe at what faith could accomplish, even in the face of looming darkness. With boundless hope harmonizing with silent prayers, Mary took a deep breath, filling her lungs with the cool night air. Was it possible that even this tempest could reveal God's light in the darkness? Only time would tell as the storm approached, but her spirit soared with the question, how far could their faith carry them against the fiercest of challenges? The wind began to pick up, rustling the leaves of the oak tree as Mary watched her neighbors work with a fervor she had never seen before. It was as if the approaching storm had ignited a fire within each soul, fear transforming into purpose. She could see it in their eyes, a glimmer of determination that was hard to mistake. With each task assigned, the air grew heavy with an unspoken belief that they were not alone in this fight. Thomas, still cherishing his drawings in the dirt, paused to watch the hustle and bustle around him. His innocent smile basked under the glow of twilight, an anchor of hope for Mary. "Mom," he said, breaking her reverie. "Are we going to be okay?" Mary knelt beside him, her heart swelling. "We will be, my love. We have faith that binds us. Remember, it's not just our homes that we're protecting, but our hearts." She glanced at the villagers, gathering supplies and reinforcing their homes with renewed vigor. There was a beauty in their unity. Each person brought their own strength, whether it was a physical contribution or the simple comfort of their presence. With every laugh shared and encouraging word spoken, they wove a tapestry of resilience that would withstand the storm's fury. As night fell, the first raindrops started to fall, soft and light. The villagers looked up, hesitant yet resolute. Mary felt the cool drops on her skin, sending a shiver of awareness through her. This was it, the moment of truth was upon them. She motioned for silence so they could pray together. With heads bowed, they joined hands, forming a circle around the great oak. "Heavenly Father," Mary began, her voice clear and steady, "we come before you, seeking your shelter in this storm. Grant us strength, courage, and the faith to stand together." "Amen," echoed softly, and it felt like a profound assurance washed over them. The rain began to fall more heavily, but instead of retreating, they remained resolute, brave and steadfast as the winds howled around them. Suddenly, a flash of lightning illuminated the sky, and the roar of thunder followed closely after. Startled, Thomas clutched his mother's hand tighter. "Is it scary, Mama?" he asked, wide-eyed. Mary looked down at her son, her heart swelling with affection and strength. "Not when we have faith, dear Thomas. This storm may roar, but we are the whispers of hope." The villagers began to hum a familiar hymn, their voices rising against the chaos of nature. The melody intertwined with the sound of rain, forming a symphony of faith and defiance. Each note reverberated within Mary, igniting a warmth in her core. In the midst of darkness, they sang as one, their faith entwined with each beat of the storm. But then, as if sensing their unity, the wind howled louder, stirring the very foundation of their resolve. In that moment, Mary's heart thudded with anxiety, a weight bearing down upon her spirit. "What if the storm is too great?" whispered a voice in her mind, yet they continued to sing, drowning out the doubt that crept in. It was then she remembered the story of Jesus calming the storm. The waves had raged, the disciples had feared, but in the face of their turmoil, faith had proved to be greater. As if answering her silent prayer, a comforting warmth enveloped her, the kind that comes from knowing she wasn't alone. Voices reminded her that in the darkest of moments, the light of faith shines brightest. As the storm raged around them, the villagers continued to sing louder, and Mary felt an inexplicable joy rising within her. She understood now storms, whether nature's or from within, serve a purpose. They test the depth of one's faith, yes, but they also reveal the miraculous bond that unites kindred spirits. With each crashing wave of thunder and every drenching drop of rain, Mary felt doubt begin to seep away. She closed her eyes, inhaling the sacred air of unity, and dared to wonder what powers of faith were being awakened in each heart surrounding her. What miracles could arise from such a tempest? What burdens could be lifted, what transformations could occur? The storm pressed on, but amidst the fury, Mary felt a surge of hope. She knew that together, they could face whatever lay ahead. A stirring question bubbled within her: would they merely survive this storm, or would it be the crucible that transformed them all? With her spirit dancing in anticipation, Mary looked forward to the dawn, praying in her heart that God was about to unveil something beyond their wildest dreams. The storm continued to rage, wrapping the village in a cacophony of sound and fury. Mary could feel the vibrations of nature beneath her feet, a reminder of the power swirling around them. Each clap of thunder echoed like a war cry, yet within the collective spirit of the villagers, there was an unyielding peace. As the rain pounded, Mary opened her eyes, searching the faces of her neighbors. Their resolute expressions were drenched, yet illuminated with a shared spirit. They were connected not just by their fears, but by a profound understanding that they were in this together. Each voice in the hymn, each hand held tightly, built a fortress of faith against the storm outside. "Keep singing," Mary encouraged, her own voice rising above the noise. "Let our faith be louder than the storm." With each refrain, the chorus of voices grew bolder. Mary glanced at Thomas, eyes wide in wonder, his small frame trembling not from fear, but excitement. His admiration for this tapestry of courage enveloped him, and she knew she was witnessing his own awakening. Joy bubbled within her as she saw what this moment could imprint on his heart: a lesson on resilience, trust, and the unfathomable strength of faith. A sudden gust swirled around them, causing branches to sway violently. The villagers tightened their grip, leaning into each other. Mary inhaled deeply, her heart racing, yet strangely calm. "We have strength in our unity, our love," she shouted. "Together, we can withstand anything." And just then, like a divine whisper, the rain softened. The intensity lessened, hues of the night laid bare for the first glance of momentary calm. A sense of expectation hung in the air, pregnant with possibility. In that stillness, Mary felt a tug on her spirit as if a higher calling was beckoning. What if this storm is not just a trial, but a way for God to show us His greatness? Thought after thought traveled through her mind. What if the storm could be both a challenge and a revelation, a gateway to transformation? Her heart fluttered with insight, resonating with the synchronicity of the moment. This storm could unveil hidden treasures hidden within each heart. As the rain began to fall gently again, Mary sensed the villagers growing more animated, shifting towards one another. Their voices began to blend, weaving a harmony that felt almost otherworldly. She could see hope manifesting like a bright spark igniting within each of them. Those who had come in fear now stood tall, shoulders squared, facing the enveloping darkness with defiance. "Let us share our gifts," someone called out, breaking through the sound of rain. Mary nodded, inspired. Her neighbors began to speak aloud the hopes they dared to whisper, sharing not just fears but dreams, future mornings shared under the dawn's embrace, laughter echoing through their homes again, and the strength they found in each other. With each revelation, the air buzzed with a divine energy. Suddenly, a vivid flash of lightning split the sky, illuminating a solitary figure amongst the villagers. It was old Mr. Collins, his face weathered but bright as he lifted his arms wide, embracing the storm as if calling down the heavens. "This storm is a gift, friends. A cleansing of our fears." His eyes glistened, reflecting a wisdom born from trials endured. In that moment, Mary felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. Mr. Collins was right. This storm was not merely a trial, it was an opportunity for rebirth. With her heart swelling, Mary joined in the chorus of proclamations, her voice soaring. We are not defined by the storm. We are defined by how we rise above it. Then, as a gentle breeze weaved through the gathering, a profound silence embraced them once more. They stood together, wrapped in the sacredness of what they had created. United as one, they were lifted. And with that silence, Mary felt the stirrings of something greater mixing with the storm, a divine presence, almost palpable. What awaited them beyond this trial? What transformations were just on the horizon? As dawn approached, Mary felt a deep anticipation. Linger. Would they emerge from this storm weakened or empowered? She held tightly to Thomas's small hand, a living testament of faith, and waited for the answer the morning light would bring. But even in that moment, uncertainty wove itself through her heart. What divine surprises lay ahead for this village bound by faith? What miracles awaited them in the quiet promises of the coming dawn? The first light of dawn timidly broke through the clouds, painting the sky in soft pastels. A delicate tranquility settled over the village as the once roaring storm transformed into a gentle whisper of wind, rustling the leaves overhead. Mary inhaled deeply, a flood of new energy washing over her. The air felt different now, charged with possibilities, pregnant with promise. Mary released Thomas's hand, letting him explore the remnants of the storm. She watched as he brushed his small fingers through the puddles, delight shining in his young eyes. It was a reminder that life continues strong and beautiful even after chaos. His laughter danced through the village, a melody of innocence and joy, rising like the sun. The villagers began to stir, stepping out from the safety of their homes. Faces that had been clouded with worry now glowed with hope. They had weathered the storm together, and in its wake, they found a newfound strength. Mary felt the heart of the village pump with a rhythm of unity and courage, a pulse that had been reignited by their shared experience. "Look!" someone shouted, pointing to the horizon. Eager eyes followed, each heart quickening at the sight of the sun spilling its golden light across the land. "God's promise!" Mary exclaimed, tears glistening in her eyes. A new beginning. With the dawn, she sensed a gentle stirring within herself, a calling to usher in a wave of transformation. The warmth of the sun kissed her skin, weaving itself into the fabric of her spirit. She turned to the villagers, the urgency of their mission igniting in her heart. "We've shared our fears, now let us offer our hopes. Let us build something beautiful." And with that, the idea took root. Villagers began to gather, sharing plans and dreams for a community garden, a place where children could laugh without fear and families could come together, nurturing not just the ground but also one another. Thomas dashed back to Mary, his cheeks flushed with excitement. "Can I help, Mom? Please?" "Of course, love," she replied, hugging him tightly. "We'll make it together." As they worked side by side, digging in the rich earth, a chorus of passion rose. Neighbors added their voices, stories and laughter intertwining with the morning's soft breeze. The garden became a tapestry of collective dreams, hope sprouting from every seed they planted, a reflection of their faith rising like a phoenix from the ashes of the storm. Yet even as the day unfolded, a question lingered in Mary's heart. What might this garden teach them? Could it be a symbol of the growth that comes from trials endured? She wouldn't know until each seed was sown, each flower bloomed. Time flew, and soon the sun dipped back behind the hills, casting long shadows over the village. Just as they finished planting their last seed, a soft rustling at the edge of the clearing caught Mary's attention. She turned to see Mr. Collins approaching again, his gait steady even as his age showed. "God has begun a work here," he said, a depth to his voice that called everyone to listen. "But it is up to us to tend to this garden, both in the soil and in our hearts." His words resonated in the depths of Mary's spirit. She felt the weight of their responsibility stir within, a spiritual calling to nurture their community, to help each other grow. The villagers echoed Mr. Collins' sentiment, nodding and murmuring their agreements. But amid their agreement, the shadow of a new storm loomed in the distance, its dark clouds gathering once more. Could they hold their ground? Could faith carry them through yet again? Mary's heart raced at the thought. What lay ahead as they forged this new path? What challenges would test their resolve? As they packed up for the evening, the air crackled with yet another electric anticipation. The village stood at a crossroads, faced with a fresh challenge. Could they unravel the mysteries of what was yet to come? And that curiosity danced like firelight in Mary's heart. Would they be ready for the next storm? What divine lessons awaited them in this unfolding journey? The morning sun continued its climb, and the villagers awoke with renewed spirits. Laughter echoed through the streets as they gathered a second time, each one eager to see the seeds of hope they had planted. The community garden was not just a patch of earth, it was a symbol of resilience. Mary could feel its heartbeat, a living testament to their collective faith. As they convened, Mary took a moment to reflect. Here they were, reborn from the remnants of chaos, ready to embrace the future. But she pondered deeply. Was this new beginning nothing but a fragile flower that could be crushed by unseen storms? Mr. Collins stood among them, fervently discussing ideas for the garden. Yes, we shall plant vegetables and flowers, he declared, but let us also sow kindness, patience, and understanding. These seeds, too, will flourish in our community. His words were a balm on Mary's anxious heart. She felt a sense of peace wash over her, anchoring her to the present moment. Every villager nodded in solidarity, echoing commitments to care for each other just as they would their garden. Suddenly, the distant rumble of thunder caused a hush to fall. Murmurs of concern rippled through the crowd. It's just noise, Mary reassured her neighbors, although uncertainty gnawed at her. We've already faced the storm. We can face anything. Confident squints met nervously hopeful gazes, yet doubt remained like a shadow over their hearts. How could they find the unshakable faith they needed to endure whatever lay ahead? Even as they shared smiles and laughter, something deeper stirred within Mary. A quietly forceful prompting echoed through her soul. What if this garden teaches us more than mere survival? What if it becomes a conduit for divine miracles? The thought sent a shiver of spirit through her being. Perhaps they were not just tending to soil, they were nurturing a divine promise, a vibrant faith that could create ripples beyond their village. With determination, she turned to the villagers. Today, let us share our dreams again. Let us plant intentions as fervently as we plant these seeds. Excitement buzzed anew as each villager stepped forward, hopes and dreams spilling forth like seeds into the earth. One spoke of healing, another of unity, children voiced dreams of laughter echoing through the garden. Mary felt the weight of their prayers hovering above them like a soft cloud, pregnant with promise. But as they spoke, a tremor of wind swept across the gathering, carrying with it whispers of warning. It rustled the trees, shaking them from their daze. Is the storm truly gone? Mary thought, glancing skyward. Dark clouds still loomed, threatening to blanket their hard-won joy.as shadows gathered yet again, panic flickered in a few eyes. What if? Became a haunting echo. What if the storm returns, and our hopes are lost? Have faith. Mr. Collins called out, his voice resolute. Remember, the storm passed last time, and we stood united. Let us not forget what we can achieve together. His words ignited a flicker of courage in Mary's heart. Could it be that their journey was not only about survival, but also about invoking the miraculous? Could their faith transform impending storms into opportunities for divine revelation? The villagers exchanged looks, hearts thumping with the thrill of possibility. What if this was their moment, the cusp of witnessing true miracles? Their spirits began to rise, stoking anticipation for something greater than they had ever known. As they continued to plant and pray, Mary wondered profoundly, what might this garden yield in the face of adversity? What miracles awaited just beyond their grasp? Amidst the frantic noise of approaching thunder, a divine spark ignited within them all. The question lingered in the air, echoing like a whispered promise. What happens when faith meets fear? With this thought, Mary looked skyward once more, her heart racing at the mystery unfolding before her. Would they stand firm together when the storms drew near? Could this community rise, not just to survive but to thrive in the face of trials? The answers awaited them in the promise of tomorrow. As the wind rustled through the leaves, carrying with it the echoes of whispered fears, an unexpected calm settled over Mary. The swirling clouds above seemed to hold their breath, echoing the mixture of hope and uncertainty below. She took a deep breath and raised her arms slightly, inviting those around her to gather closer. Let us not be bound by fear, she spoke softly but firmly, her voice rising above the tension. It is in our unity that strength will be found. Together, we can face any storm. A ripple of agreement passed through the crowd. Mr. Collins smiled, nodding fervently. Yes. Let us dig deeper, not just into the soil but into our hearts. Let our hopes intertwine like the roots of our plants. With that, Mary stepped forward, urging the villagers to share their deepest fears along with their hopes. Let us lay them bare to the light, she said, so we can water them with trust and faith. The villagers began to speak, voices trembling yet strong, each word a seed meant for the light. One by one, they shared not only dreams but also their innermost worries, the fear of loss, the anxiety of a storm's fury, the nagging doubt that peace was just an illusion. Each confession was met with murmurs of understanding, hands clasping in prayer like the fronds of a gathering storm. Mary felt the atmosphere shift. Shimmers of light danced around them as if the garden itself was listening intently, holding space for every vulnerable truth. It struck her as profound. They were not just planting seeds in the earth, they were also planting faith into their very fabric. As the thunder rumbled again, it sounded a deep growl in the distance. Mary felt an electric jolt of courage surge within. From our worries, we can grow resilience. Just as rain nourishes the earth, our faith will nourish us. Let us transform our fears into fuel for our faith. A young boy stepped forward, his voice small yet brave. What if the storm takes our garden away? His question hung in the air like a heavy raindrop. Mary knelt down before him, looking him straight in the eyes. What if it doesn't? What if the storm carries our seeds to new lands, where they can blossom into something we never imagined? People murmured, and Mary saw sparks of hope ignite across their faces. In that moment, as they shared thoughts and fears, something incredible happened. A braver energy filled the air. The sky darkened further, yet it felt less threatening and more like a reminder of their strength. Together we can shield each other, she murmured, and help each other grow. The villagers formed a circle, hands clasped tightly, hearts beating like a drum in unison. They began to chant softly, words of affirmation and gratitude flowing from their lips. We are unshakable. We are resilient. The mantra enveloped them like a warm blanket against the chilling winds. Suddenly, a crack of lightning illuminated the skies, followed closely by a booming echo, reminding them of nature's power. Mary's heart raced in alignment with the thrill. Let it remind us of our own strength. She shouted, her voice vibrant with faith. The villagers, emboldened, began to shout their dreams again, this time with an energy that reflected their growing conviction. Healing. Unity. Abundance. They called out with fervor. As Mary looked around, she felt a tingle of anticipation in the air. What if this rallying cry became a beacon for their community? What if their gathered strength was more than they had ever known? With every shout, she sensed a shift. The clouds above seemed to part, if only slightly, allowing beams of golden sunlight to pierce through, creating a radiant glow around them. Something is coming, Mary whispered, feeling the holy vibrations stir within her. A warmth enveloped the circle, filling each heart with a sense of divine presence. And just as the last chant faded, a realization swelled among them. This was not just about surviving the storm but witnessing the miracles that could bloom in its wake. But wouldn't the ultimate test await them? The looming storm was not just a storm of nature, but a turning point of faith. Would they truly trust in what they could not yet see? With courage fueled by faith, the villagers stood as one, ready to face the unknown. As the thunder rolled loudly again, Mary's heart fluttered with an exhilarating mix of fear and hope. The answers they sought were contained in belief, the kind of belief that could spawn miracles. And now, they all held that power. What awaited them on the other side of this divine awakening? Would they indeed transform even the fiercest storms into gardens bursting with life? The spirit of adventure beckoned them forward, inviting them to discover what blessed surprises were yet to come. Dawn broke gently, washing over the village with a tender light. The storm had passed, leaving remnants of its presence, the freshness in the air, puddles reflecting the sky, and hearts awakened by both fear and hope. Mary felt the shift in the atmosphere, a sacred anticipation weaving through the village like a sweet melody. They had braved the storm, but now the real journey began. As the sun rose higher, Mary gathered the villagers once more beneath the grand oak. The tree stood firm, a symbol of resilience and strength, just like the community that had come together through trials and tribulations. The memories of each prayer raised against the storm echoed within her. Today, they would embrace the transformation that awaited them just beyond their fears. Friends, we stand here not just as survivors but as a vibrant community filled with purpose. Mary called out, her voice ringing with conviction. The storm was a ceremony of faith, a divine call to awaken us from our slumber. Together, we have experienced the raw power of God. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the gathering, faces lighting up with renewed determination. There was something magnificent in how they had stood united, a chorus of voices, toiling hands, and intertwined hearts. They had learned that even in the tempest of doubt, faith could rise like the dawn. Let us cultivate our garden of hope, Mary continued, a spark kindling within her spirit. This is the moment to nurture not only the earth but our very selves. What we face strengthens us, it bonds us in ways we have yet to discover. With eager hearts, they began to form small groups, addressing the needs of their community. Some tended to the garden while others organized a meal-sharing plan. Laughter intertwined with labor, a sweet tapestry of thriving life woven right before Mary's eyes. She felt a warmth fill her, not just from witnessing the kindness but from knowing that their journey had only just begun. Let us invite those still in darkness to join us, James suggested, stepping forward. Others need to hear of our journey, to witness the power of faith in action. We can become a beacon of light for those lost in the storm. I agree, Sarah added, her voice pouring forth with enthusiasm. We'll reach out to nearby villages, bringing the love we've felt here. Let them know they can rise too. In that moment, Mary felt a shift, an exhilarating realization that their miracles could ripple outward, affecting countless hearts. Each seed they sowed held the power not just to bring forth vegetables and flowers, but to spread hope like wildfire. As they formulated plans, the atmosphere buzzed with an electricity fueled by divine love. Mary's heart swelled with joy as she watched Thomas laugh and dance with the other children, their innocence a reminder of the freedom faith brings. Soon, a great celebration took shape, a gathering where they would share meals, stories, and experiences of the miracles born from their struggles. It would be an invitation to all, a testament that even after the darkest of storms, joy could bloom. Friends, this celebration will showcase what God has done and is continuing to do among us. We are here to show the world that hope lives within community, within faith, Mary declared, excitement radiating in her words. Later that week, the village prepared for the joyful celebration. Banners adorned the streets, tables overflowed with food, and laughter rang through the air, echoing the sweet harmony of abundance. People from surrounding areas arrived, greeted with warmth and open arms, all eager to witness the transformation that had unfolded. As dusk settled, the stars began to twinkle like scattered diamonds in the night sky. The chapel eagerly awaited them, filled with an air of divine anticipation. The villagers gathered to share their stories, their struggles, hopes, and the miracles they had witnessed. The air hummed with testimonies of healing, of renewed spirits, of faith that stood firm in the face of storms. With each story shared, Mary felt the sacred bond grow stronger. It illuminated the depth of their journey, a tapestry woven with vibrant threads of experience and love. They discovered strength not just in numbers but in the spirit that flowed among them, igniting a spark of reflection from heart to heart. Let us be a community known for our faith, our service, and our unwavering belief in miracles, Mary encouraged, her voice filled with passion. We are planted firmly in God's love, and together we shall flourish. As voices rose in unison, Mary could feel it, a powerful wave of divine transformation. Each person present bore witness to the magnificence of faith, and she knew that their lives would never be the same. God has prepared us for this, she whispered to herself, eyes glistening with tears of gratitude. And this is only just the beginning. In that beautiful moment of unity, the villagers sang praises under the clear night sky, their faith knitting them together as one. The echoes of their laughter, their hopes, and their testimony filled the universe with light. Was this the manifestation of their greatest journey yet? The community awaited with open hearts, eager to discover where God would guide them next, their faith lighting the path ahead. In the end, it mattered not just that they weathered the storm. What truly mattered was how they chose to thrive in its aftermath. A radiant promise beckoned them forward, a certainty of divine presence in their lives. As they stood together, illuminated by the stars, Mary felt it deep within, the assurance that whatever lay ahead, they would meet it with unwavering love and faith. Join Mary and her community on this journey of divine transformation. Let us stand together in faith, spreading hope to every corner of the earth, believing in miracles as we embrace the profound wonder of life. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help others find this message of hope. Comment your reactions and testimonies about this ending. We want to hear your voice. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation of God's love. Only true servants of God understand the importance of supporting our channel through these actions.